LA Angel, 19-year-old, Edgar Quero. What's your thoughts here, Ross?
I love Edgar Quero. He's one of my breakout plays for 2022. It's probably aggressive. It's probably way higher than you're going to find anywhere else. But this is all based on the numbers, and the numbers don't lie. He's been really productive as a catcher. He has an extremely high walk rate. He has since he's come in the league, and this year, aggregate on the season, all at single A and 515 plate appearances, he hit 312 with a 433 OBP and a 530 slugging percentage, good for a 963 OPS. He walked almost as often as he struck out, 14% versus 17, almost 18% for his strikeouts. I think he's kind of the complete hitter overall. And I'm really excited to see what he can do. He gets a comp on Scout the Statline to Alex Bregman. And we touched on this in the first pod. I think that's a really nice comp to be pulling.
I wanted to ask you, do we completely discount 2021 with his stats?
I don't think that you discount it. I mean, that's part of the equation to begin with. And I almost highlighted him last year at the Dynasty Guru because he came up and he was hitting so hot. I mean, his end stat line doesn't reflect that. He finished the season with a 240 batting average, but he still had a 405 OBP. He had a 463 slugging percentage finishing that season. So he still had respectable numbers across the board, but he started really scorching hot. Like, I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but he is ridiculously good, just flying under the radar. I didn't end up highlighting him, which I was surprised when I was reviewing my highlights at the end of the season. I didn't get around to him, and he must have started cooling off before I did. Just sure. Otherwise, it would have been something I couldn't ignore. But no, I think it's factored in there, and I don't think it's as bad as it might look based on that 240 batting average that he finished with. So
the reason I wanted to ask if you discounted it or not is because of the breakout that he had this year. He had a 312 average. Edgar Quero, a catching prospect, 19 years old, in single A, had a 312 average. But what comes with that was 17 home runs and 12 stolen bases as a catcher.
I think the 12 stolen bases is really surprising. Like, I don't know that he's got a lot of speed. I don't know that it will project to the major leagues really well, but pretty impressive total for a 19-year-old at single A. So especially as a catcher. So something to keep an eye on for next year. That's for sure.
Yeah, I want to highlight that as much as I possibly can. The uber athleticism that we're seeing out of this position that's coming up within the next, I'll give it 6 years. But within the next 6 years, we're going to have catchers do things that I don't think the MLB's ever seen. Would you agree with that?
I can't say ever because I haven't been around long enough studying this to speak authoritatively about that. As much history as I do study of baseball, I think without being there and watching it as it's happening, it's really hard for me to say that. But I will say that I think with a high degree of confidence that this is the best group of catchers that's been coming up since I started really studying baseball, which has been a while now. I mean, we're talking about it close to 2 decades. So yeah.
I suppose that's kind of what I meant by that. For the past 30 years or so, since I was 8, I suppose, I don't think we have seen this kind of growth at one position as far as athleticism is concerned. And I'm really, really excited for it. I think we're going to see something scary from the catcher position. But yeah, Edgar Quero, 19 years old.
Let me ask you, do you think Edgar Quero's ranking by Scout the Statline is appropriate? Do you think it's a little high?
I think Edgar Quero is probably way too high. And I say that just because it's single A ball. He's 19 years old. He's only 5'11", 170 pounds. He hasn't even started developing his body yet. We don't know what he's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Based on how people typically develop, he looks like he might have star power. So I'm excited to see it. I think it's an appropriate ranking, but my bias might be that this is one of my sleeper picks, and so I really want to see him succeed. So I like him. We'll see what he does.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. We have a few years before we know what he's going to be, so really exciting. I'm excited to watch him, man. It's going to be good stuff.
Thank you for watching this player evaluation. If you'd like more great content on prospects across Major League Baseball, please visit our website, www.scoutthestatline.com. Thanks a lot.